outbreak has drastically changed the world in less than 2 years. The deadly virus has changed the way humans live. Daily activities such as shopping, studying, working face to face have been shifted to online mode, and people have no choice but to adapt to the new norm. In discussing the recovery of economics in Malaysia, it refers to achieving a balanced and sustainable post-pandemic economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused a significant decline in the level of economic activities in Malaysia, and it may lead to the deepest recession since the Great Depression in the 1930s. With a significant increase in the daily COVID-19 cases and total death, the government had implemented various phases of the movement control order, which resulted in many sectors being affected. The sectors include agriculture, industries, and services. It is reported that Malaysia's GDP has contracted by 5.6% in 2020. Many people have been affected in terms of income resources due to the lost jobs during the pandemic. The path towards recovery is full of challenges, and that is why the economy itself is in need of important intervention from government to recover the economic growth. This is the timeline of the movement control order starting from MCO on 18 March 2020 to CMCO on 4th May 2020 to RMCO on 10 June 2020.
In order to secure the industry's survival during the post-pandemic, some measure has been taken by the industry itself and also by the government. We need to know that in order to recover our economy, this measure needs to be considered. The first one is the financing facilities. It's a facility, a formal financial assistance program offered by the lending institution to help a company that acquire operating capital. Among them is the financial institution that facilitates the restructuring and also rescheduling of loan. The government has allocated RM2 billion in order to establish a special relief facility or SRF, which aim to assist with the cash flow of the affected small and medium enterprise. This is to help to alleviate the short-term cash flow problem faced by small medium enterprise adversely affected by the COVID-19 outbreak. Eligible small medium enterprise can obtain financing of up to RM1 million for a tenure of up to 5.5 years, including a 6-month grace period. The financial rate is capped at 3.75% per annum and is available from 6 months 2020 according to Bank Negara Islam. RM200 million has also been offered by the Bank Simpanan Nasional in microcredit facilities, especially for the tourism and other affected sector during the COVID-19 outbreak. Securities Commission Co-Investment Fund also take part in this measure by investing RM500 million in the early stage and also growth stage of Malaysia companies. Secondly, the other measures taken by the government are Industrial Booster. As stated by the EY, building a better working website, Industrial Booster is one of the measures that has been selected in the economic stimulus package. It is basically the initiative by the authorities to boost our economy by supporting business enterprise and lessen their burden. In this measure, deferment of monthly tax installment has been made for 6 months for the tourism sector and RM500 million allocated in order to stimulate the demand for the tourism sector. This is to encourage the economies of the tourism sector that was affected the most because of COVID-19 restriction ongoing in and out of our country. Other than that, the government has made exemption of service tax on taxable service for 6 months, especially for the hospitality industry. This exemption of service tax will help our country to restore the economy, as hospitality is one of the significant sector because people help varies with economic growth. The government also has made an exemption for all affected sector for the Human Resources Development Fund levy. Not to mention, 50% discount of electricity bill have also been issued for all sectors that were affected during this pandemic, as people lost their income and were not able to fully pay for the electricity bill in providing goods and services. Lastly, the government itself has guaranteed up to RM5 million per affected medium and small enterprise to help finance their capital working. This will provide RM5 billion worth of guarantees and increase the guarantee coverage from 70% to 80%. For the SME that face difficulty in obtaining loan, this is to assist affected company with cash flow constraint. The government has implemented the following measure. The final measure that the government takes are socio-economic driver. Socio-economic driver is one of the significant measures of this economic stimulus package from the article that provided by the EY Building a Better Working World website. Under this measure, funds worth RM1.1 billion have been made to assist retrenched workers under the employment insurance system or EIS. This EIS also will relate the eligibility criteria for transfer worker from the affected sector by diminishing the minimum requirement for 3 months contribution. After that, the minimum employee contribution to the Employee Provident Fund (EPF) has been reduced to 7% from 11% to potentially to increase the disposable income by appropriate RM10 billion. This is aimed to increase the available cash in the hand of households that face difficulties during this pandemic. Not only that, the government also has issued RM300 million financial assistance, especially for small and medium enterprise (SME) under the SME Automation and Digitalization Facility (ADF). By doing this, the SME will have the financial resources to upgrade, modernize, and rejuvenate productive assets in order to grow back their enterprise to its fullest production. Last but not least is implementing small-scale infrastructure project. This project is worth RM2 billion for infrastructure projects such as drainage system, road maintenance, bridges, and street light facilities. This is aimed to assist small-scale contractors and at the same time encourage economic activity that fall due to the COVID-19.
Aside from the aforementioned initiatives by the government, these are the summary of other measures taken to recover the balance in the economy. The effectiveness of the economic stimulus packages can be seen that it has assisted affected individuals, boost customer confidence, ease cash flow of affected businesses, sustain employment, stimulate the domestic tourism industry, increase aggregate demand, and increase the capacity of healthcare sector in containing the outbreak. The effectiveness of the stimulus packages can also be seen from the macroeconomic indicators. There are 4 indicators involved, which are sales value of wholesale and retail trade, Malaysia Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, Kuala Lumpur Composite Index, and Industrial Production Index, of which all of them showed increment. Not only that, there is a rebound in the Malaysia economy by 16.1% in the second quarter of 2021. Comparison with other nations. We take Singapore to compare with Malaysia. The Singapore government divided its budget into 4 categories, namely unity, resilience, solidarity, and fortitude to handle the crisis of COVID-19. In the initial stage, there are 3 measures, namely Temporary Relief Fund, COVID-19 Support Grant, and the Courage Fund. The Temporary Relief Fund is a one-off interim assistance scheme to help Singapore citizens and permanent residents who have lost their jobs or a substantial portion of their income due to COVID-19. COVID-19 Support Grant is to help citizens and permanent residents who are presently unemployed due to retrenchment or contract termination, or presently on involuntary no-pay leave for at least 3 consecutive months, or presently experiencing reduced monthly salary of at least 30% for at least 3 consecutive months as a result of the economic impact of COVID-19. And the last one is the Courage Fund, is to help lower-income households whose family members have contracted COVID-19 or are on stay-home notice, mandatory leave of absence, or home quarantine order. As the time passes by, these measures are growing, covering many sectors that are in need of support. It is divided into 4 types. The first one is wage and job support measures. Second one is cash flow, cost and credit support measures. The third one is resilience and recovery measures. And the last one is support for specific sectors. To compare between Malaysia and Singapore, it can be seen that the measures taken by both countries are wide and covered many sectors. They are more or less the same in terms of the objective, which is to assist affected individuals and businesses and other sectors. The difference that we can see is in terms of the way they allocate budget and the structure of initiatives, which is different due to different industries involved. From the Islamic perspectives, we can relate the whole situation with 2 values, which are to be responsible and to be patient. To be responsible, In Surah An-Nahl, verse 91, Allah mentioned, "And fulfill the covenant of Allah when you have taken it, O believers, and do not break oaths after their confirmation, while you have made Allah over you a witness. Indeed, Allah knows what you do." This verse can be used to express the government's responsibilities towards society. Since the government is elected by the people based on their promises to improve the well-being of citizens and country as a whole, so they must keep them.
Trials and tribulations are part of life. So, when we are afflicted, we should remember that it is ultimately Allah who controls our affairs. It is He who will provide help, and His knowledge of our affairs surpasses our restricted intellect. That is why it is important for us to be patient in facing the crisis and try our best to improve the economic together.